Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss about retirement of a partner, reconstitution of the partnership firm. When firm will reconstitute, you know very clearly, when a partner admits into the business and when a partner retiring from the business, or if any partner died or deceased or firm dissolution. So during this all the times firm will reconstitute. So this is a reconstitution of partnership firm, especially retirement of a partner, chapter number 6. Refer T.S. Giriwal instead of NCERT book, because it gives more illustrative and numerical problems also. You can learn better than that. And every year they are asking one 6-mark question, one 3-mark question, and one 1-mark question, which is based on retirement of a partner from this chapter. So it is very important chapter. Like how we dealt admission of a new partner, same like that. Few adjustments only we are going to do that. A partner may retire from the firm. How a partner can retire from the firm? How firm will reconstitute? How firm will reconstitute? If a partner goes out, existing profit and loss sharing ratio will change. So we have to do some changes in our deed, partnership deed. If any one partner is retires, profit and loss sharing ratios changes. So because of that, firm is reconstituting. At the same time, while the partner goes out from the business, the previous accumulated profit should be given to him, and reserves, goodwill and profit, whatever it is, it should be given to outgoing partner, isn't it? At the same time, if any liabilities are there, partners individually and collectively liable for firm's debt. That you know. So if any liabilities are there, certain percentage of liabilities he have to bear, the retiring partner has to bear, isn't it? So whether partner can retire? Yes, he can retire. How he can retire? By following these 3 methods. First one is, if there is an agreement to that effect, if already they have an agreement, so I will work as a partner, I will be as a partner in the firm for only 3 years or only 4 years, 5 years something. When that duration comes to end, when agreement comes to end, so that time he can retire. If all the partners agree to his retirement, if all the partners mutually agreeing a particular partner's retirement, if any one partner is not ready to accept his retirement, means he cannot retire from the firm, isn't it? So mutually all the partners have to agree his retire. So if all the partners agree to retire his retirement, so that time only he can retire. And another one chance is there to retire from the partnership firm, if the partnership is at will, by giving a written notice to the remaining partners of his decision to retire. So actually he have taken a decision to retire, at the same time he have given a written document, written notice to all the partners. That written notice, when he issued to all the partners, then after that acceptance of all the partners, after accepted by all the partners, that particular partner can retire from the firm. So these all the situation how a partner can retire from the firm. Liability of a retiring partner. So retiring partner's liability, whether retiring partners liable before going to retire or after retired. Yes, you know, liabilities of partnership firm is unlimited. But I wanted to bring on new informations to you. Nowadays, very important, it is LLP, limited liability partnership also available. Act is 2008. Limited liability partnerships. Actually, partners' liabilities are unlimited. That is what we have studied. Partnerships Act. Partnership Act 1932 says very clearly, each and every partners collectively and individually liable for firm's debt. By chance, if business couldn't pay the liability to the creditors, they have to sell their personal assets to settle firm's liability. So that means they are individually and collectively liable as per 1932 Act. It is liabilities limited. Liabilities unlimited here, unlimited, but limited liability partnership is there. That is started in the year 2008 onwards. So as soon as implemented, nearly within 20 days, 52,848 partnerships converted into LLP, which is called limited liability partnerships. So this is the new information for you. Liability of a retiring partner. So retiring partner's liability before retiring and after retiring. Section 32(2) says very clearly, liability of the act before retirement. A retiring partner remains liable to all the acts of the firm up to the date of his retirement. Up to the date of his retirement, he is liable like all other partners for all the liabilities. However, a retiring partner may be discharged from his liability by an agreement between himself and third party and continuing partner. So when he is retiring, that time that agreement comes to end. So from that day onwards, he is escaping from that liability because of that agreement with third party called creditors and with continuing partner. Partners individually and collectively liable. So continuing partners also, this retiring partner is liable till the date of his retirement. Liability for the act after retirement. Section 32(3) says very clearly, the partner, one who retired from the firm, he is liable after his retirement also. A retiring partner also continues to be liable for third parties. To whom he is liable? For third parties. For the act of the firm even after his retirement until public notice of the retirement is given. Until public notice of the retirement is given, he is liable for the third parties. Can you understand this? Like agreement when comes to end, that time only he is escaping from the liability with continuing partner and with other, which is that outsiders. But here, that public notice he have to issue about his retirement to the third parties. Till to issue that public notice about his retirement to the third parties, he is liable for third parties. Adjustment required on retirement of a partner. What are the adjustments are required while retiring a partner from the firm? So, what are the adjustments we come across when a partner admitted into the partnership firm? So that are changes in profit and loss sharing ratio and sacrificing ratios calculation, gaining ratios calculation, then goodwill, valuation of goodwill, separate chapter. Chapter number 3, valuation of goodwill, 3 different kinds of valuation of goodwill. And by gaining ratio and sacrificing ratio, who should be compensated by whom? Isn't it? So this and all we come across, and apart from that, revaluation account. Revalue the assets and reassess the liabilities, then finally we will come to know revaluation profit. Isn't it? And where it should go. To partner's capital account, debit side or credit side and everything. Isn't it? Then reserves, contingencies, investment fluctuation fund, general reserves. So these all how to treat, how to compensate after claim, that amount where it goes, everything we come across. Then preparation of partner's capital account and balance sheet also. And last topic was adjustment of capital. So that is a deleted chapter, deleted topic. So same like here also, this adjustment of capital is deleted. But everything is same like admission of a new partner. Look at the first one, change in profit sharing ratio. Change in profit sharing ratio means their profit and loss sharing ratio is going to change because one partner retiring from the firm. For example, if they are having profit and loss sharing ratios before 1:1:1, which is called 1/3, 1/3 and 1/3. But now C retires, A, B, C are partners, C retires. So their profit and loss sharing ratio is going to change now 1/2 and 1/2. 1/2 is to 1/2. So definitely they are going to make more profit than earlier. So both of them going to gain. Some changes will be there in their profit and loss sharing ratio. At the same time, whether they are going to acquire this retiring partner shares or not. So while you practice these changes in profit and loss sharing ratios problem, you have to be very clear whether they are acquiring his shares or not. So two situations are there. We will deal while we are practicing calculations and problems. So it is a theory session only, so no need to worry about calculations and all. Valuation and adjustments of goodwill. Different kinds of valuations of goodwill. What are the valuations? Average profit method, super profit method, and capitalization method. Valuation of goodwill, and when it should be valued, and previous existing goodwill will be written off by existing partner as their existing profit and loss sharing ratios. So you have to be very constant in your concept, isn't it? So don't be flexible, that existing goodwill should be written off by their existing profit and loss sharing ratio by existing partners, not new partner. And new goodwill will share to whom it should be shared? New goodwill to the sacrificed partner by gaining partner and incoming partner, that we have discussed in admission of new partner. Likewise, in retirement of a partner also, when a partner goes outside, what are the changes made in goodwill? Because he is going out, so we will give some amount to him. So anyway, reputation of the business, it may be reduced. So further changes will come on goodwill. Revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities, called revaluation account. Very important account, revaluation account. Debits in favor for liability, credits in favor for assets. Revaluation account, you have prepared very well, many of you. I am thinking it is your favorite account, called revaluation account. It is scoring, isn't it? So it will give more marks to you, revaluation account. And reserves, as such, no differences in revaluation account. So what we discussed over there in admission of new partner, same only, not even single alteration. So everything is same only, that revaluation account alone. And next one, reserves and undistributed profits, accumulated profits loss. What is the reserve? To meet out future contingencies, we are allotting some amount from previous year profit as reserves. So that reserves, after meet out the claims, if extra money is there, that should be credited to existing partners. So one who is retiring, he was existing partner, isn't it? So money has to go to existing partner, especially for retiring partner, how much money it have to go? Has to go. So everything will be calculated. Accumulated profit, accumulated profit already we discussed in our previous, because everything we have discussed in the admission of a new partner. Once you clear all the concepts in admission of a new partner, you no need to study retirement of a partner, because you are going to alter few points only, like changes in profit and loss sharing ratio and goodwill calculation and computation of the amount due to retiring partner. These three only you are going to change, and apart from that everything is same like admission of a new partner. Okay, so no worries about it. Whoever well known about admission of a new partner, you can crack it easily, and it is not being a burden. Within 1 hour you can study this entire chapter. Nearly 200 pages are there, especially for admission of a new partner, 200 plus pages. But within 1 hour you can study, because slight changes only in changes in profit and loss sharing ratio. Within 5 minutes or within 10 minutes you can come to know very easily. Okay, then this accumulated profit, so many years they did not distribute the profit to the partners. Now one partner goes out, one partner is retiring, so anyway that particular partner's share of profit is here, so it should be divided and given to him. It is called accumulated profit should be divided. If any loss also should be given to that outgoing partner, isn't it? Okay, computation of amount due to retiring partner. So what are the amount has to give to the retiring partner by firm? So while they are computing, they will be very careful for calculating about goodwill and all the resource and accumulation of profit and losses and investment fluctuation fund, isn't it? And apart from that, so many resources are there. So many resources. Workman's compensation fund, isn't it? Contingent reserve. So these all should be calculated. These all should be calculated. Even his profit and loss sharing ratio will be calculated. So as per his profit and loss sharing ratio, how much profit the partnership firm has to give. So everything will be calculated. So computation of the amount due to retiring partner. This is till today you haven't studied about it. So I will post one separate video especially for computation of amount due to retiring partner. And payment to the retiring partner. Payment to the retiring partner. After computation, after computation, if any loss is there, he is suffering. If any profit is there, that will be given to the outgoing partner. That should be compensated. Losses and resource. How much amount firm has to give and how much amount the retiring partner has to give to the partnership firm. Then it should be compensated. Then if any extra money is there, that money whether firm has to give or partner has to give to the firm, that should be calculated. Then after calculated, if firm has to give to the partner, whether firm is giving entire money in one single installment called lump sum method, else in so many installment method. So that also we will discuss in payments to the retiring partner. And payments to the retiring partner. Then last one is adjustment of capitals. If so, decided by the partners. Adjustment of capital, it is needed. If it is needed, that continuing partner will decide. Anyway, this topic alone is deleted for this year. It's a deleted portion. So no need to study about it, but very easy only, but no need to study.